Hello and welcome back to a little bit more Let's Play Grim Dawn Hardcore. Character QuestySparks. Plague and Lightning. All good times. And right before we get going, let's do what we've been meaning to do for a while, which is to get rid of this fucking Raven. I have no idea why I still have this thing around. Like, look at this. 1 point. Why do I have the... I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't want to feel alone out there. But, you know, I've got like all 5 viewers to keep me company for the first 10 seconds of the video, so that's going to go well. All right, so let's take that point and just drop it into something else that we need. And honestly, you know what we need? Any percent resist piercing. Because we're getting slapped around by gunfire and stuff like that, and I think a certain amount of that is probably piercing. Like, we're taking chunky damage. 3% isn't going to make much of a difference, but let's get started in the right direction by at least getting something going there, right? And we could even reassign something to that. I'm not gonna, because, you know, we're about to level anyway, and I'll throw some more points in there just to get a little bit more going on. But I might also do a gear review here pretty soon, which of course I'll do off screen and just get myself set up with that. But in the meantime, our quest to kill Cronies, and we have just unlocked Cronies Hideout, so let's get going. This is very similar to the Warden that we bypassed a little while ago. This is one of those sort of like bigger bosses, right? He's kind of one of the big checkpoint bosses. Oh, nice. We got ourselves a rare spawn totem down there. Probably going to be slightly dangerous given our, you know, somewhat of a glass cannon scenario that we've got going on here. Man, like, look at that. I just ate that damage. And I don't really get much back yet from my Wendigo totem, so I have to be careful. I have to be on that potion button all the fucking time. I'm chemical dependent. I should probably throw a brace of 3 more points into that totem just to, like, help, but... The one problem with the Wendigo totem that I find is that it does motivate you to stay in place, which can just lead to you getting your ass kicked in different ways. All right, but let's give this a try. I'm gonna lay an initial totem here, which is a nice thing that totems allow you to do, and then I'm gonna get in there and plague them up. Just keep dropping totems. Don't stand in the bad. There it is. Boy, there's a lot of bad I could be standing in right there. The urge is strong. Alright, let's see here. What are we getting out of this guy? We've got a little bit of lightning damage. Yeah, that's an upgrade. That's a straight upgrade. And really one of the main reasons that I feel good about that is a little bit of fucking armor. Like, it never hurt anyone. In fact, this is such a reasonable upgrade that I'm just going to go back really quickly and equip it with some add-ons and whatnot, because I'm not going to turn my nose up at 150 more armor on my chest piece. And I'm also not sure, we've probably gained a few levels. We might have access to something a little more interesting for my chest piece in terms of add-ons here. Like, I know that I'm not 100% sure what the level is, but we do have some that can give us move speed on chest. I don't know which one that is again. It might be something I'd have to craft up. Not sure. Let's take a quick moment here to poke around. And I won't force you to sit through the poking around, but I will tell you what I find. Okay, what I've decided to go with here is the silk swatch for my chest armor, because this 3% piercing resistance could use a little help. So silk swatch is going to give me 15 pierce and 15 bleed. Both of those are handy. You saw bleed almost kick my ass when I was fighting Champion of the Pit in the last episode. So getting something on that is probably a good idea. And I think while I'm here, I may as well drop this stuff off because, like I say, you can pack it around, but when you're in hardcore, you're eventually going to die, and then everything you're carrying is going to be gone. And we're going to have a good opportunity to get our asses killed when we go in and fight Cronies. I'm not too worried about it, but sometimes, you know, he does put down a lot of ground effects, and I can be a little bit low on the attention span, and so I could potentially find myself getting killed there. I hope not, but we'll see. I'll just stow all of this, clean up that inventory. I'm going to sell that recipe, reason being I already know it. That's the royal jelly recipe. So let's get that going. We'll get some biddies, and the reason we need those biddies, of course, is because we can't walk around looking like that. We gotta walk around looking like this. There we go. I'm finally starting to get a little bit of a closet going in the hardcore. Because obviously, like, my softcore account just has an incredible array of awesome illusions. But this account here, I'm still running around looking like a beggar most of the time. Okay, let's finish clearing up here. I think we're gonna immediately enjoy the effects of getting that higher armor and a little bit more pierce resist, because now we actually have a meaningful amount, right? We're over 20%. It's starting to make sense. And we needed it because some of those salvos that were hitting us from the little groups of enemies were doing alarming amounts of damage, and it can get out of control so quickly. All right, and now let's just go down into their little excavation here and grab that ruined shrine. Normally something pops. Yeah, there we go. This is the requirement. If you don't own Forgotten Gods, you're not going to be picking up those mobility skills like that leap I just used to get clear from the sort of the surprise sex zone in the middle of that. So Forgotten Gods, for me, it's usually worth what it costs on sale just to have a movement skill. I love it. I love the level up in devotion at one time. It's perfect. Okay, like I said, I'm going to be tossing these between physique and spirit still, because I do want the damage, but I also got to survive to use it, so you know how it is. All right, now we've got some options. We were talking about maybe buffing this a little bit, just getting the amount of health restored from the totem, but that does kind of fix me in place a bit. So maybe what I'll do instead is I'll just kind of keep feeding the health bar as I work my way towards wasting, and just go with that. Because, you know, we are getting more stats. It's not like that's sort of a waste at all, or making us any weaker. All right, and then we'll just keep going up here. There's a little bit more health and a little bit more energy, and we're going to finish this one out pretty soon, and then we'll probably jump up into here. We'll get going, and I will kind of look around and see if I can get something that spits out a blue so that I don't have to waste a point just picking blue up. Although, you know, again, gives me a bit of defensibility, so it's not fully a waste. But let's get rolling. That's this room cleared. Don't forget about that devotion shrine. Sometimes you can run right by it without really seeing it. Okay. Let's cruise. We are actually pretty close now to sort of, like I say, it's inside a chapter, but it does feel like a bit of a chapter break. Killing Cronley, our next stop is actually going to be sort of on the other side of these waypoints. And we get into the Arkovian Undercity, which, you know, if you have not seen this game before, I think you'll enjoy. It is some really classic Diablo feeling, undead filled dark dungeons. Very cool stuff. But also, it's the part where you'll start to question your decisions when you take a Bloody Pox character down there and you don't have something elemental or physical backing it up, because it's just chock-a-block full of, like I said, ghosts and skeletons. And it turns out ghosts and skeletons are very resistant to bleeding. I've complained about it before, but I'll be honest, I kind of see where they're coming from, despite my reservations. There we go. Knocked them down. Getting 3 totems out there. I think 4 is our limit. We're still struggling potentially a little bit with the summoning speed. Like, we do have to wait for things to recover a little bit. Okay, you've seen that we're getting a little bit of extra lightning off of our new chest piece as well, which is kind of cool. I think, is that giving us the Or maybe we're not. We're getting it somewhere. Oh yeah, there we go. That lightning nova. 10% on attack. That's pretty useful. Because we do have bloody pox, right? Like bloody pox kind of counts, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it wouldn't. Sometimes that can be a little bit tough to figure out, right? Bloody pox probably doesn't count because it would count if I had the ability socketed to it, but it won't count if it's just sort of global attacks. Because really it doesn't kind of count as an attack. Only casting it in the first place actually counts. So something to keep in mind. Sometimes you'll have an ability socketed that, you know, it is not very visible, and so you don't really notice whether it's firing or not. So you want to just sort of be sure to check whether or not the abilities you have socketed are actually going to work. And right here is where we could actually meet, you know, the guy that we killed in town several episodes ago, the trader that we found. He actually is there and crystal enhanced if we let him get away with it in the town. But I never do. I'm always so hungry for the sweet, sweet XP juices that he's got in him. I always put him through the XP juicer when I'm in town. Alright, we've got ourselves another elite here, so we'll just keep dosing him full of disease and lightning. Very nice. Alright, we're closing in. This would be the other location, just kind of over here, where we would potentially find one of those primal totems. But we've already cached it. You're not going to find two of them in a level. That's one of the things. See, this is the only area where I have a little bit of reduced effectiveness from those totems, is they have a maximum target count. I can't remember what it is at this point, because we do have them stacked up. 6 targets, yeah, so, or, yeah, let's see here, yeah, it targets up to 6 enemies, so even if you have a lot of range on it, you know, it's not going to hit an entire group this size, but still 6 enemies is pretty effective. Especially with these lightweights. Normally you don't get massive groups that are particularly hard to kill, you know, unless they've got a healer in them, and even then, it's usually not too bad if you've got good DPS output. The game does a nice job of sort of scaling that type of stuff. One of the areas where you can occasionally run into some large groups that are also hard to kill is in the Sithonian levels. Alright, so we got a skull boss and some elites on us here, so we do have an opportunity to get ourselves killed. We're going to have to pay a little bit of attention here as we try to drop damage. I am very glad that I went ahead and updated my armor. And I am going to just caution potion right there. Okay, we got a lot of lightning working this guy there. That was nice. That was nice. Let the totems do the work. Rub the balloon. Let it zap them. Alright. Okay, we're all clear. And now we're going across the bridge to talk to Cronies himself. This is it. This is the main boss. This kind of, like I said, it's sort of a small chapter wrap up. So we'll kill his little turrets here. And then we'll go talk to him. Now I'm gonna set up. And I'm not gonna go through all the speech options because I already know that I just want to kill this fool. Alright, there we go. Let's box him into this little area here. And we'll just try to keep out of his ground effects because that's the thing that's going to do a lot of damage to us. Try to monitor that health. We'll try to keep a totem up in there. Getting a hound summon is pretty useful as well. I've got to be fairly diligent here, just try to get totems down whenever they cool down. But yeah, boom, there you go, no problem. No problem, that feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. We did get ourselves a little bit of bling from that as well. There's a good ring. It does have that bleed damage on there. It's got attack speed. That's not really particularly useful for me, but you can't see it. I'm pointing at my screen. 33% pierce resistance. That's a slice of all right. And I do have that marrow band on right now, which I am getting essentially 78 health from, and fuck all else. So I'm just going to immediately go and slap this on instead of the marrow band. And I don't even really care that I don't have an add-on. That's just inherently better right from the get-go. I don't have Blood Pact unlocked yet, but I will. So that's also going to come in handy. This is not good, but good, you know, if you know what I mean. All right, and this is what those guys outside, you remember those bandits last episode that I killed instead of listening to what they had to say? This is what they had to say. They said there's basically a secret room behind here. We know that. I have no idea why they give you these two options, why you wouldn't keep some of the crystal. Just keep some of the crystal. It's just crafting supplies. It could be that there is some hidden effect from making that decision further down the road, like some kind of difficulty tweak or some enemy that you would or wouldn't face. I have no fucking clue what it might be, and it certainly is worth keeping a couple of crystals. You can even get the ether clusters out of that. Ether clusters are pretty handy. If you have a character which you're going through like I guess I would call it a vulnerability phase, right? Like sometimes you're building a character, you're on the right track, but you'll have a window between gearing where you become very vulnerable, right? Like you're putting out okay damage, but every now and then you face a boss and you have to be up close and he's kicking you in the teeth. Ether clusters can be your friend. I think they just give you a flat damage mitigation. They're just a consumable item. You want to keep a stack of them around, and if you have a character like that, they can be kind of just a temporary bridging item that gets you through, and just sort of gives you a slight amount of survivability that you can deploy when you need it, like a boss fight or something. Okay, and here we go. So this is a new little hub area. Well, not a hub area, but this is like the new zone. So as you can see, like if we roll over to key strikes, we roll over to the map, you can see this is an area that is divided. The way going through Cronies Hideout is the way that you get here. And this is a whole big ass area. I think they expanded this like a year ago or so. Like they put out some more content for it, or at least I found more content in this area, and I will be showing you that, although there's a pretty dangerous boss. And here's a little nod to the Souls idea. The area on the other side of this broken bridge, that's a whole other area that we're going to have to get through quite a bit of traveling. And he'll just tell you here the bridge is out. Now we can sort of go same as we did last time where we went through Cronies Hideout. We've got a whole fucking load of shit we can do, and it gets us to the other side of that bridge. And then we can repair the bridge and it gives us a shortcut. And the reason that would be important is there are farmable elites on the other side. It's actually a dangerous area. So it's a little bit of a Souls nod there where it's kind of setting you up to build shortcuts and change the way the maps interact with each other and stuff as you go. But keep in mind, we were out there to kill Cronley. I don't remember who asked me to do that. I think this guy had a quest for me to kill Moneybags. So I'll let him know that I've done that, and then I think his next quest might be to kill Cronley. I'm not sure. No, maybe that was somebody else. All right, this guy here, this is the book we found, the Annals of Arkovia. I know it's Annals. I just think it's funny. And so we'll give him that, and then I think Cronley, we can report that in down at Devil's Crossing. And yeah, see, there we go. And this is sort of one of those things where I say, like, he's kind of a keystone boss as well. So he'll give us a little chunk of XP. It might even be enough. It was enough. Look at that. Okay, now this guy here, he's like looking for some young lady, Elsa. And he thought that Darius Cronley had her. Let him know that he didn't. So basically, we'll meet her farther down the road, but she, quite interestingly, doesn't want this guy to know she's still alive, so who knows what's going on there. Some dark shit occasionally happens in this game. And one last thing before we leave, this guy here is basically letting us know that we can, you know, these guys are going to starve to death in their shitty little converted prison. And this is basically a little thread quest that like gets us going on our way to the next hub spot, because the next hub spot actually has food. These guys need it. You'll see. Okay, we're going to pop back in here. Like I say, we're still just bouncing between physique and spirit. You can tell we're like running a little bit ahead in spirit, which is nice because it's giving us damage. A little bit of physique never hurt anyone. And going down to our points for leveling, I think we're going to continue to just push points into Occultist until we get here. It's only 9 points. That might seem like a long ways away, but look at how fast we're leveling, right? Down to 6 points. Once we get this, it just gives me a little bit more damage, and that damage is diversity, right? Like if you look at this character, the way that I'm building it, let's just wander down here and check out my ability or my damage modifiers. So you can see here, I do have 108% bleed. That's not much, but it's a bit, right? So my Bloody Pox is actually going to do a bit of work. And my lightning is 191. So you can tell I'm kind of balanced between those two damage types to a degree. So I don't want to entirely neglect those bleed abilities. And especially the fact that when I get it up to wasting, I think is the top one, it actually confuses opponents as well, which is pretty handy. Now, we've got about 10 minutes left, so I think what I'll do is I'll take a little run out here to an area that is one of the ones where I think they added it. But again, I can't be too sure. Like this game, this is an old game. It gets updates. I think the last update was just a month ago or 2 months ago, and they did a big balancing pass and added a couple items and stuff. But in the past, they've added whole areas and stuff like that in patches. It's all free. I mean, once again, I can't say enough. Support Crate. Like, they are such a good company. All right, so look at this. We got ourselves a little incident going on. This chick is about to be shot by this guy, or so it seems. So let's go up here. Now, we could just attack. We can kill them. Instead, I'm going to give him 300 biddies because 300 biddies ain't much. All right, and he... Basically, that happened, right? So, but now we can talk to her. We say, hey, you don't have to keep robbing people on the side of the road because we know they're working together. And basically, we could just tell them about Devil's Crossing, and just like other people we met in the past, we can send them there, and just makes us feel like a bit of a good Samaritan. I used to always kill them until my buddy pointed out that there actually was an easy option to, collect them. So, we'll do it. I'm feeling charitable today. All right, so this area here, you can see we have just entered a dangerous domain. So we're going to have to start watching our back a little bit. We're weakened. This is actually okay. We're doing less critical damage, but we have a higher chance to crit with more offensive ability. That's not going to have much of an effect on us, really. But this is going to feed us probably enough XP to gain another level, or the boss will kill us. One of the two. This is also an area, and we'll see whether it's in there when we get in. But this is an area where there is a set monster shrine. And I'll show you where it will be if it's in here. And it is one to approach with all sorts of caution. Like all kinds of caution and concern. I don't know if I've shown one yet. I don't think I would have, because I think this is the earliest in the game that you can get it. But basically it's a set summon, so you're going to get a set boss out of it. And it's this like horrifying like tentacle demon thing. Well, it's actually a pack of them. And they summon tentacles out of the ground to, sort of do area control. And they are tough, and they can warp around. One of them can go invisible and chase. It's terrible news. So you want to be careful, especially on a hardcore playthrough, that you don't, just blindly do that without carefully considering your life and your options. I'm gonna show you where there's a secret wall here as well, because there's actually quite a bit of loot in this area, or at least there can be. So we've got ourselves a destroyable wall and a larger chest here. Okay, nothing special out of it right now. But then we can head up to the top of the wall, and there it is, folks. There it is. It did spawn. Oh boy. Look at that sinister motherfucker. Okay. Look at that. Last episode I was like, do I want to take on the champion of the pit? This episode I'm like, do I want to get my ass reamed by tentacles? I guess everyone's always more amused by that. Alright, I'm gonna clear because honestly, long retreat paths is something that could save me in this fight. So I'm actually going to clear the rest of the level first, and then I'm going to make the call. If I've survived the actual boss of the area, I'm going to make the call. And I might have another level on the go by then. We'll see. We'll see. See what we get. But what I don't want is this, right? I don't want to be running with a tentacle trying to probe me and then suddenly having a pack pop out of the ground to sort of further antagonize. So let's clear it. Let's get the skull boss out of here. Okay, so let's clear around the sides a little bit because that skull boss spawn is right here. So as soon as we pop down into this area again, we're going to get him. So there we go. Now he's going to keep summoning these ads as well, so we're not going to be able to sort of write him off here anytime soon. Oh, and he does have this bone cage, but I do have a little bit of duration reduction on that. Okay, bone cage, and unfortunately, okay, let's just keep trying to triangulate him here. Not being diligent enough to keep these totems popping. I gotta get him down when I can get him down. Okay, the DPS is doing work on him. Okay, there's phase 1. I like that. Now phase 2 is, in this particular case, significantly more dangerous, and that's why. He's bringing this Starfall ability to the table. That can really pummel us if we get a stream of hits. I'm just going to try to avoid getting too tied down into any of these areas. We are doing good damage to him. Okay, I was in cooldown there. Had to back off just a touch. Okay, we got a short hop there. That's always very disturbing when that happens. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, I'm going to take a closer look at that. That seemed actually pretty nice. 30% LE damage, eh? Yeah. I mean, obviously, good for a cold build. And like I say, that offhand slot is going to be dominated by these Sky Effigies and Yeti Horns for this. Well, Sky Effigies, because Yeti Horns, again, you can get lightning and cold on them. But cold just doesn't feed my build, at least not now. And I don't know what path I would take to it. But this is a really cool shield. That's really cool. And you know what? Because it's really cool, I'm going to go stow it before I be an idiot and go up and take on that totem. Because that could be useful for a future build. And when you're when you're about to get yourself killed doing something dumb, don't waste those items. It's not a word of wisdom. Yeah, you see, this is what I was talking about with those ether clusters. 75% damage absorption for 8 seconds. Could be a lifesaver, right? Could be a lifesaver, which I'm actually gonna socket. I'm actually gonna socket that. How many do I have? I got 15. I might pull another 5 of those out. And just have those on board. Okay, so let's go stow them here with our potions and whatnot. We'll stow the rest of this stuff, and then we will go and make the final act of this video, me trying to get past that totem. Totem? Shrine, I guess. Monster shrine. Monster totem. I can never remember. There's shrines, there's totems, there's everything. Altars, whatever. Alright. Let's map it before we forget. Okay. And quick tap that if we really get into trouble here. And we could easily get really into trouble here. Alright, to the Colosseum. And let's go film some hentai, shall we? Sorry, wait, not hentai. Tentai. There we go. Hard to keep your weird Asian animated porn all together. Okay. You guys are going to see this. This is always going to come out the same. You can see those swirling sparks and everything. It's letting you know this is a big one. And let's go get it. Okay, let's spread our stuff. Let's get ourselves a little bit of clearance. You can see the little guys are taking a lot of damage. These big guys, though, they don't really seem to care about what's going on. And when we get surrounded in that field of nonsense, we're going to die. So all I can tell you is... Okay, he's coming up on me. Oh, man, that trap there, that could have killed me. We have inflicted damage, right? I was about to just quick withdraw from this fight. And I really should go. I really should get out of here. I really should. But you look at his health bar, it's 50%. And I just keep thinking I might be able to do this. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, you get these like almost mini stuns from those guys too. All right, let's let our potion cool down. Let's let our potion cool down. Okay. All right, we're gonna pop an ether shard. There we go. Get that damage on him. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. I've survived the tentacles. That's a sketchy fight, but, you know, we had the DPS there. I sort of thought that we could do it, but, you know, with no real conviction, I will say that. All right. On that note, though, I think I am going to go ahead and call it. The timing is roughly perfect. I mean, man, if I could have planned that, 30 minutes and 57 seconds, how good am I at this? Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Next time, we're going to be plumbing the depths of the Undercity, getting into some good, solid old dungeon crawling, killing skellies, that sort of thing. But until then, have a good one.